How do you define wealth? That's a very simple question, and how you answer it will determine whether or not you keep your wealth moving forward. Many people define wealth by the amount of money they have in their bank accounts, and this is the riskiest definition of all. If you're not interested in protecting your purchasing power, please click away right now. However, if you want to learn how to protect your purchasing power, hang in there with me for another minute and I'll show you how the wealthy protect their assets. Fiat currency, which is paper money, is simply a deceitful imposter that is silently stealing your two most valuable assets, your time and your freedom. Look at any country that has battled inflation over any period of time, and the first thing that is always destroyed is the purchasing power of paper money and paper assets. We have entered a period of financial crisis that is the greatest the world has ever known. Wealth is never destroyed. It is merely transferred, and that means that on the opposite side of every crisis, there is an opportunity. All you have to do is look around you and you can see that crisis is absolutely everywhere. We have inflation at 40-year highs. Internationally, we're seeing a sovereign debt crisis. Here in the United States, currency debasement is the flavor of the day. The wealth transfer that is taking place is the greatest wealth transfer in history. Let me explain. In the United States, the 10-year Treasury note is yielding 4.1%. But inflation is destroying purchasing power to the tune of 9% per year. The difference between those two values is a negative 4.9%, which is the net return that investors receive when they invest in the risk-free, full faith and credit of the U.S. government. Pretty scary if you ask me. Who do you know that willingly invests in sovereign debt to be guaranteed a negative 4.9% loss every year? Good luck planning for your retirement with that kind of scenario. Now compound that for 10 years. It's an absolute unmitigated disaster which has been going on and getting worse since the great financial crisis in 2008. The great news is that all you have to do to turn this crisis into a great opportunity is educate yourself. Learn about the history of money, how the global economy works, and how central bankers and large financial institutions can manipulate and cheat you. If you understand what's going on and how the financial world works, you can put yourself on the correct side of the wealth transfer. The advice we give you, point blank, don't save your wealth in government money. Save real money. Government money always goes to zero in times of crisis. Government money is nothing more than a bookkeeping credit, debt, and taxes. That's all it is. It has no real value. 40% of all the money in the United States has been created in just the last 2 years. This is a recipe for wealth destruction. The current financial crisis did not start today. It started back in 1971 when President Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard on August 15th. Since that day, the U.S. dollar has lost 87% of its purchasing power. Quick question. Since the U.S. dollar has already lost 87% of its purchasing power, what does that say about its future? The trend is absolutely obvious for those who have eyes to see. We got here by increasing the money supply and debasing the currency as the economic solution to solve all problems. The government keeps printing paper money to the point that now U.S. debt is over $31 trillion. The only way they can keep the economy breathing at this point is to print more and more fake money. As of September 2022, it cost $718 billion just to pay the interest on the national debt. This amounts to 11% of the total federal spending. How do you think they pay that $718 billion in interest on the debt? You guessed it, they just print it and then convince you that everything is going to be okay. It's a vicious cycle that has spiraled out of control. There's only one way it can end: the total bankruptcy of the economy and paper assets. This means that all those paper digits in your bank account and all the other related types of paper wealth supported by this fake money are at great, great risk. Trust me, I've lived through massive inflations. I hope it never occurs here. But I can assure you that inflation destroys paper money, and paper assets are the riskiest places to store your wealth. I'd like to show you what exactly you should do to protect your wealth. You'll be pleased with the peace of mind that comes along with having a portion of your portfolio in real, tangible assets. Click here to download a free report on how to protect your purchasing power with real money and real wealth preservation. Thank you.